Now joining us in the nest, Atlanta Falcons legend and my brother from another mother, Roddy White. Roddy, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, we're going to jump right into it. I want to know, what were your emotions when you embraced the city of Atlanta? But most importantly, what were your emotions when the city of Atlanta embraced you?
My emotions, when I first got to Atlanta, which was 2005, I didn't know what to expect. We had just came off the NFC Championship game with Mike Vick and the Eagles, so it was a different temperature in Atlanta. I mean, the city was like on fire, and it was just me coming in. I was, brought in to be, the guy that can, stretch the field and stuff like that for Mike. And then it was cool. I mean, when you walk in the locker room and you see Mike Vick, it was like rock star. Like, I ain't never seen that many media coverage and people just following one person ever in my life, And at that point, I didn't know, how power was around the league and everywhere until we, started going on road games and everything. And, we had to have security and everything. And people couldn't get into the hotels. It was just, it was crazy, man. It was something different.
Roddy, who is your craziest teammate that you ever played with?
The craziest teammate I ever played with? Well, I don't have one. I have had a couple guys that have been crazy on my team, including your co-host over there, Harry Douglas. He has done numerous amounts of things on the football field that cannot be discussed to get me fined by the NFL and many other things. And I have yet to get my money back from this guy for getting fined. And I've been in fights on football fields and luckily haven't been kicked out of any games because of this man. And he's just a torturer. He tortures people at practice, after practice, in games. He always in there making jokes, but he keeps the locker room live and hype. Everybody's loose, because he has that ability to just bring all that energy and everything to everybody. And, we all take it out to the field. And especially when you have guys on your team that can do that for you. Because a lot of times, I know y'all believe that we love to go out there each and every day and practice, but we really don't. So we need somebody, to be that spark plug. And Harry was always that for us.
Now, Rod, tell everybody, what is it like, man, to be inducted into the Falcons Ring of Honor?
It was nice. I always looked at it like I always wanted to play 5 years in the NFL. I was like, man, if I make it to 5 years, because I know, when you go to these rookie premieres and stuff like that, they tell you, you're only going to be here for 3 years because that's the length of an NFL career. So I'm like, well, if I make it to 5, I'd be good. I'm golden, And, 5 turned into 10, 10 turned into 11. And it seemed like after that, you're looking up and you're like, you've been productive. You made a couple Pro Bowls, been all pro. You got all these accolades and stuff like that. And then, they were like, well, you're going to get into the Falcons Ring of Honor. And I was like, well, we'll see because, there's a lot of people that I think should be in there that ain't in there. So, But when it happened for me, it was great, man. It was more special for my family and things like that because they had an opportunity. My last name is White and all their last name is White. So everybody is like, we made it, and that was the best part of it, getting there that moment with your family.
We know you're close with Julio Jones. Obviously, he came in when you were still there. Describe your relationship with him and who he is kind of off the field.
I mean, we're like brothers. I mean, all of us, from me, Harry. I mean, we've been hanging with each other since day one. Since Julio got to the Falcons. And, I mean, some things that y'all may not know about him. He's not so quiet off the field as he is on the field. Y'all see him. He just has this method of just, I go to work, I do my thing. But, once he leaves y'all and get around people he's comfortable with, he's a different guy.
Now, Rod, looking at all the guys you played with, and you played with a lot of guys within your career with the Atlanta Falcons, who was your favorite teammate or teammates?
Everybody that was in the wide receiver room was my favorite teammates. And then outside of the wide receiver room, I had like a couple guys that, that I was really, really there for. And I felt like, that I could make a difference in their career. And I just kind of stuck around those guys. I mean, a lot of times in the NFL locker room, you spend so much time in individual meetings and stuff like that and building your team camaraderie. We did so much things as wide receivers. We went bowling. We went on vacations. We hung out together, partied together. We did so much things together that it created a family vibe between all of us, and we just stuck with each other, you know. So a lot of my best teammates were always in the room with me each and every day. Until this day, it's still the same way.
But listen, let me tell you what's so funny, Rod. You mentioned how we do everything together still to this day. Remember the week before Julio scored his first touchdown against the Colts, and playing music in practice, and we were all dancing to the music, and Smitty was cursing all of us out, telling us to stop all the dancing and get ready for practice. Remember when Julio scored his first touchdown, and as soon as the ref said it was a touchdown, we were all on the field dancing, and Smitty came running down the field, dog cursing us, get off the field! Get off the field!
Man, that was a great time. Way to break his cherry on like a 65-yard pass. So everybody was excited, man. We didn't care. We got no penalty on that play.
Not one bit.
We're going to beat the Colts anyway.
Exactly.
Roddy, when you look back at your time with the Falcons, what are some memories that stick out?
I mean, the one thing I always tell people that you miss about football is the locker room environment. You know, once you leave the locker room, you don't ever get that in any way, form, or fashion. And that's the thing I miss the most. You know, I miss, you know, D Block and them, you know, rapping on Fridays. I miss the music that we play on Friday. I miss, you know, hanging out with my guys, you know, all of them from Jake Matthews, you know, and those guys in the offensive line, and just watching those guys have fun and play country music, and we can't change the channels on Saturdays. Like, you know, those are things that you miss most, you know, about the locker room and the things. You just miss the guys and the personalities of the guys that you get to be around each and every day. And you miss building something. You know, everybody in there has the same common goal. And you just miss all that team camaraderie and everybody just building something. So that's the most important thing, you know, for me. I didn't miss practicing anymore because, I mean, it hurt to practice. At that point, the older you get, you know, I would have to.
No, first of all, I'm gonna stop you right there. No, I'm gonna stop. No, Roddy, I'm stopping you right there. Don't get on here on our show on Fox 5 and make it seem like you practice every week like that. When I know I took all you and Julio reps every week in practice.
That's not true. You took all our you would took all our reps on Wednesday. Now, we had to practice. But on Wednesday, you know, we didn't practice, you know.
You mentioned Jake Matthews. I mean, you know so many of the guys that are on this team right now. What is it like for you to watch them, you know, not being in that locker room, but knowing, you know, who they are in that locker room?
It's special, man. You know, and I always tell this guy when I meet those guys, I mean, when I see them in the locker room, when I go to the facility, man, we just talk about all the old times when I was there and, you know, the laughing and joking and, you know, in the offensive line, always saying that, you know, if Roddy dropped the ball in practice, it was good because he'll catch it in the game and things like that. So, you know, you bring back all those memories and stuff like that. Just to see those guys going out there and playing at a high level each and every week. And just, you know, knowing Jake Matthews, the very first day I met him, I gave him a nickname of, like, Pedigree because, like, everybody in his family is big, strong, and plays in the NFL. So – So that's kind of, you know, I've been on Link and stuff like that, man. It's been special, man, to still have relationships with those guys and just be able to still laugh and joke and go out there and have fun with them.
Rod, I have one last question for you. I want to know, what is it like to be the coach's pet? Because I wasn't a coach's pet until I got to Tennessee. So I want to know, what is it like to be the coach's pet from Jump Street here in Atlanta? I didn't know what it was like to be the coach's pet in Atlanta.
What does that mean? Give me a definition of coach's pet.
What is it like to do nothing wrong in your coach's eyes?
Oh, to do nothing wrong?
Your head coach's eyes.
Listen, first of all, I love Smitty to death. You're not going to do that. Me and Smitty have a great relationship.
No, I love Smitty. But I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about Smitty. I'm talking about
Smitty had a great relationship with each other. We had a very great understanding of what I needed to do and how I needed to prepare each and every week as a player. Okay? So therefore, don't get in our business, man. Right? Because that's our business.